So as far as the bird photography tip, one of the biggest tips that I can give everybody is, like I said, push themselves to the limits. Don't feel enough with the so-so image. You know, that's not enough. It's always more. And if you live here in Florida, you can always go out and photograph the same species over and over again because it's fairly tame. But always push yourself to the limits. Always look for the perfect background. That's my biggest thing when it comes to photography. I always look for the best background possible. If you look at my images, you always notice that blur background nothing affects your subject. It's all about your subject, no distractions, none of that.
Yeah,
so that's one of my biggest.
Very true. So don't let the subject that you're photographing concentrate on it so much that you ignore foreground and background.
Yeah, if you're going to include the habitat, allow the habitat to enhance your subject,
right?
Not to take away from it. And that's one of the big tips that I can give you folks. And photographing manual mode, you know, is nowadays we have digital, we have LCD screens, we have our histogram, we have all these tools available to us. And it's just a matter of learning how to use it and learn how to read it. It's important to learn how to read your histogram, which allows you to get the perfect exposure, I should say. So. And
you have some good training material on there, and of course we've got our guides that I just put out that are just simple, at least get you started guides. So.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of information out there, you know, that you can take advantage of, and it's a matter of getting out of the couch and start reading and reading.
That's the main thing, is to get out there and start shooting.
Yeah, start shooting and get up early, get there, and you know, go home late. You know, it's a great experience, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
And assuming the sun's going to burn off, or the sun's going to burn off, the clouds are going to burn off this morning, or the fog's going to lift, we're going to follow Maxis out here, and hopefully he's got some more tips and techniques to share as we go along.
Yeah, we're going to see, and the cloudy days like this are perfect for field flash. And you can see I have my flash and bracket as well with a better beamer.
Better beamer, yeah.
Yeah, which is this little unit right here. And days like this is when you want to use the flash, which allows you to enhance the feathers on the subjects, you know, on the birds, and allow the colors to pop a little more. And that's one of the reasons I use it a lot. Another thing that I use also is a battery pack. It's very important. The battery pack allows the flash to recharge a lot quicker. So I'm using the Canon 7D, which takes about 7 frames per second, 7-8 frames per second. And you want that flash to keep up with the shooting rate. So that's important.
So why don't you give us a few more tips about your rig and what you recommend for nature photography, especially avian photography.
Sure. Let's go ahead and take a look to see what we have here. Let's start from the top and we walk all the way down. Here is my Canon 580EX2. It's a flash. Attached is the famous beta beamer, which is nothing more than a magnifying glass that you can see right here. What that allows you to do is send the beam of the flash further away. That way you can lead the subject when they're pretty far out. Of course, the flash is attached by a flash bracket, which you can see these parts right here that mounts to the wing of the head.
There's advantage getting that up and away from the.
Yep, that is correct. You know, it's when I was in San Diego, I was photographing these pelicans, and I noticed that the flash wasn't hitting the pelican completely, and it took me quite a bit to understand what was happening. But I soon realized that it was a matter of dropping the flash bracket a little lower, and that allowed me immediately to lead the subject as it should. But something as simple as that can change your opportunity right there in the spot.
And one other, excuse me, one other thing, just a word of warning. That is a magnifying glass on there.
Yep.
And it is focused to the front of the flash. And I think everybody's got a better beamer. I've got little spots where it's burnt the front.
Yep. I've been lucky. Yeah, I've been lucky that I haven't burned my flash yet. What happened is when it's nice and sunny out there and you're carrying your tripod on your shoulder, you know, a lot of folks, they just keep that flash facing up toward the sun. And what happened is the sun hits it and creates a hole right there in your flash.
Just like burning ants.
Yeah, it's a magnifying glass. It's a loop, so you have to be very careful with that. A friend of mine actually burned his BMW passenger seat. He left it on the passenger seat.
No.
And it put a hole on his passenger seat, so you have to be careful with that.
Yeah, which is why some people call them better burners.
Yeah, better burners. But the good thing about that is, like, when it's nice and bright and sunny, you know, all you got to do is peel it off and put it in your pocket, and you can avoid that problem just like that. So let's put that to the side a little bit.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that today.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that today, so that's a good thing. Another thing that I use is obviously the cord, the flash cord that connects the flash to the camera. And that way you can control the flash manually or with the camera. I normally do all my flash settings directly on the flash. I don't do anything on the camera. That way I have a better visual of what I'm doing. Okay, all I have to do is look up to see this LCD screen. It allows you to see exactly what you're doing with the flash. Everything that I do is manual, okay, including the camera settings, the flash setting. The only thing I leave out is the autofocus. Okay, pretty much it. Everything else is completely on manual.
How about the white balance as well?
The white balance, I do it on, I leave it on auto white balance and sometimes daylight, depending on what it is. But since I shoot in RAW, I can always change that.
Right, that's just a suggestion.
Yeah, that's just a suggestion, yeah. But you always want to change that and adjust that in Photoshop. So, okay, another big tip that I give everybody is to make sure that this is level. Okay, because of the Wimberley head allows you to hold such a long lens. It's always a good idea to have a level, because when you're carrying this, you know, I normally don't tie this knob up. I just leave it nice and loose. And all I have to do is grab it and go. And it's always loose, because when I put it down, I can start shooting right away, and I don't have to worry about releasing these knobs or anything like that. So it's always important to have this level. And that's one of the advantages of using a Wimberley head like this. So I already talked about the flash battery pack, which is made by Canon. And this is nothing more than 8 AA batteries. They're rechargeable.
And it allows it to recycle much faster.
Yep, they allows you to recycle the flash a lot faster. There's 8 right here, and then 4 more on the flash itself, for a total of 12. And that allows me to shoot a lot faster when I'm using flash for the most part. And I use flash a lot. You know, I use it in cloudy days, sometimes in sunny days, early morning. That's the only time when I use flash, or late in the afternoon. So it's a good setup for bird photography. You know, of course, you know, Canon and Nikon, they use the 600mm lens and different other bodies, but the concept is pretty much the same. So, all right.
Why don't we pick up? We go out here and see if we can find some birds.
Yeah.
And maybe you can actually show some.
Yeah,
techniques,
absolutely. Yeah.
Some of the ideas of things you would get from Maxis's workshop.
Sure. Let's do that.
Great.
Here, I'm at a relatively low angle. The reason I like to do that is because I can go ahead and enhance the subject by getting to eye level. Okay, the lower you are, the better. That way the subject becomes powerful in the image. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Sometimes I get even lower depending on the size of the subject. But in this case, we're photographing a willet, which is farther away. But this is a good height to be at right now. So here we have these oyster catchers feeding. So what I'm waiting for is for them to be in the prey up above so I can get the photograph of them feeding. However, right now they're nice and low, but you don't want to cut the feed. You want to wait until they come up a little higher on the sand so you can capture that photograph. But a little bit of patience, you know, and then you'll get the photograph that you're looking for.
Well, Jim's voice held together for at least through this interview, but we want to really thank you, Maxis, for coming out and taking the time to give us some great tips and hints. Even though it was a little bit of a foggy day, still you gave us some, and the flash was an
It's
extra
very useful,
bonus,
yeah.
very useful today.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate the opportunity, Jim. Once again, I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
We'll stay in touch.
Keep in touch with you on Facebook.
Yep.
Right. Follow him on
Hopefully you will come
Facebook.
back.
Follow us. We'll be following each
I'll
other.
keep the eye on you on Facebook. I love to see what you're up to. I always enjoy your trips and your images and that sort of thing. So
And likewise, so go out to gvisions.org, subscribe to the newsletter, check out the workshops.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
We'll see you in the field again.
Yep, absolutely. I'm sure we'll stay in touch. And good luck in the Everglades, by the way.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
good luck. Hope you have a good
Okay.
trip. All right.
Take care.
Okay, well, we've been trying to get Maxis on the show for quite some time, and we really appreciate him taking his time. In fact, I think it was like the second or third podcast. Maxis did a lot of the photography when we were at St. Augustine. So be sure to go out and check Maxis's site. Maxis site?
That's a good question.
Maxis.
I'm glad you got the pronunciation
Well,
conundrum this
check
time.
his website out, subscribe to his newsletter, and you may want to check out his workshops. And he will be at the St. Augustine Birding Festival coming up here very shortly, and within the next month, I believe, early April. There's still time to get in on the My Costa Rica workshop, so you better hurry. We've only got another week or so, so by the time this podcast comes up, you're going to
be running out of
you're running
time.
out of time. So
Running out of time.
if you would like to go out there right now to outdoorphotoworkshops.com, check it out, and please sign up.